fingers. Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good midnight in the 5 continents, in the universe, and in the space. Today is the 7th of August, 2022. And today we have a good friend from Nicaragua, but who lives in Costa Rica, Ivan Suazo. So thank you, Ivan Suazo, for your time this Sunday morning. Let me share my screen so we can see what we are going to do today. Just a minute. Okay. So today let me see, it's our 79th International English Online Meeting. Let's take a moment to reflect. Anybody who wants to read this quote and express your opinion, please? Anyone?
We do not need guns and bombs to bring peace. We need compassion, love and compassion, Mother Teresa. I love this because it's always, let's make empathy our first response.
Yes, dear Raj, thank you so much. Next one, anybody who wants to read the next quote and express your opinion, please?
Well, I can handle it.
Please do.
Okay, no culture can live if it attempts to be exclusive. Mahatma Gandhi. I think it's a very important saying because we need each other. I mean, look at us right now. I mean, I
Yes.
really need my peers from Peru, from Costa Rica. I have learned a lot from the people in the States. I have learned a lot from people I met in the United States. They were from different countries, like from Cameroon, for example. I had a very good friend. I don't know if you know him. His name is Dr. Veyu. Dr. Veyu studied. Yeah, you know him, Dr. Veyu.
I've heard the name, but I don't really know
Yes,
him in
well,
person.
yeah, well, he studied with me. We studied contemporary literature in Kentucky.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yes, and I have learned so much from so many people I have met, and all those cultures have made like a little bit of myself, like a lot more attentive, a lot more eager to learn, and better prepared to handle different ways of looking at life, living it. You understand that
Yes.
being in contact with people from different worlds is like opening eyes wherever there is a pore in your body, and then you see reality a lot more clearer, I would say.
I can tell, Sabino. I'm sure that you could be a good guest speaker in one of our future international meetings if you want to.
Just
I,
let me know. Just let me know.
I let you
It's a
know.
beautiful experience.
Next one, please. Anybody who wants to read,
Yes, I'm Gomati. Shall I read,
please
sir?
do, Gomati.
Yeah. Peace begins with a smile, Mother Teresa. Always, the peace starts with a smile only. If we express our happiness, our values, we have to smile with others. Make
Yes.
others to smile.
Yes. Everywhere we go, Gomati, if we see people smiling, that
Yes.
is a good beginning.
Yes, 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 sir.
Yes. And the last one, Ivan.
There's no such happening around the world. And the only way to be more well-versed is to be a global citizen, traveling from one place to another all the time. Frida Pinto. Wow.
Very, very
So,
deep.
yeah, very deep, right? Yeah, it's a question I have. Who do you want to be? What kind of
Yeah.
world you want to live in?
Precisely what you will be talking about, right, Ivan?
Exactly. Thank you for bringing great quotes. Yeah.
Okay, if you want to watch all the past international meetings, you can find it in our YouTube channel, Jaime Ancajima, teacher trainer, more than 80 videos with speakers from all over the world. And now who is presenting soon? On Sunday, the 29th of August, we will have these 4 wonderful professors from Bolivia talking about the teaching and learning English in Bolivia, reality and challenges. Then on Sunday, the 25th, we will have 4 professors from Colombia talking about the reality of teaching and learning English in Colombia. And then in November, on November the 27th, we'll have this wonderful group of 5 professors from Guatemala. Remember that we will have also people from Ecuador, from Argentina, from Costa Rica, from Colombia, Mexico, and other countries. So who is presenting today? Our good friend, Ivan Suazo. So let me say a few words about Ivan Suazo. Ivan Suazo is a fellow, Ivan Suazo is a fellow of the Institute for Collaborative Learning in Costa Rica. Ivan believes in the role of empathy and communication to create an inclusive learning environment that supports the learning process of all participants. He studied law at the Central American University, UCA, and received the Fulbright Scholarship to do a Master's of Teaching at the School for International Training, SIT, in Vermont, USA. Ivan has been a licensed trainer of World Learning's TESOL certificate course since 2018. He has also been practicing and teaching pro-social skills in different courses for leaders and educators in India, the USA, and different countries in the region. Wow, very, very surprising, my dear Ivan. Ivan or Ivanhoe, Ivan has presented at conferences in Panama, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, and the USA. Ivan is a past president of the TESOL organization in Nicaragua. I'm really proud and surprised because of your biodata, dear Ivan. So thank you so much. And the screen is all yours.
All right. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. One thing that is not included in the bio is that I've been learning. Yes, I've been teaching about nonviolent communication and pro-social skills, but most importantly, I've been learning a lot in every single presentation I do. So this is a kind invitation to participate. So let's do a conversation, a discussion about different ideas I'm bringing today. So I will be asking questions. I will be asking you to, or inviting you to participate and provide context or share experiences about your life in education or your life in general. So this is the topic today, examining the source of words and actions. And as Jaime was presenting the quotes, as a first step in developing a culture of peace and non-violence. So it is developing skill for global citizenship and appreciation of cultural diversity. And these ideas, I will be talking about where these ideas are taken from. These ideas are taken from different sources, and one of them is the United Nations, the Sustainable Development Goals. I will be talking a little bit about them, and the Inner Development Goals. So as a first ritual, that I4CL is the Institute for Collaborative Learning, the first previously named Centro Espiral Maná, founded in 2003 in Costa Rica by Mary Scholl. And Mary is traveling. She's in Argentina now, Jaime. So she's traveling around.
She's a globetrotter. She's a globetrotter.
Yeah. One of the rituals, one of the things we do at the very beginning of every session, and we do this at every English class, at every session we do, is getting connected and welcome everyone. So you're welcome as you are, where you are, evening, afternoon, morning, with breakfast, with lunch or dinner. So you are all welcome. So I'm gonna invite you to read some of the lines. Maybe I can invite. So we have 14. Maybe I can read, maybe 2 by 2. So we have maybe 7, including me, 7 participants, 6 participants and me, and we can read 2 lines each. So we can welcome ourselves and welcome everyone who is present in the Zoom room, everyone who is watching live Facebook or will be watching live Facebook in the future, today, tomorrow, next year. So I'm going to start with the first two, and then whoever wants to go next, open your mic and read 2 lines. So welcome everyone, welcome everyone, welcome teachers.
Welcome administrators. Welcome learners.
Welcome everyone who is tired. Welcome everyone who has energy.
Welcome everyone who is angry. Welcome everyone who is happy.
Welcome everyone who feels lonely.
Next line, Maria.
Welcome everyone who feels lonely.
Fine.
Welcome everyone who feels a sense of belonging.
Welcome everyone who is eager to learn. Welcome everyone who already knows about sustainable development goals and the inner development goals.
Welcome everyone who wants to learn about the SDGs and the IDS. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone.
Welcome everyone.
Yeah, that's beautiful, right? That is
Yes.
beautiful when we go places. Imagine a classroom when you get into the classroom, your students get into the classroom and they're welcome. Yeah, I sometimes go to places, offices, and then I feel welcome. I don't know what there's an energy there, right? I feel welcome. And some of the places I don't feel welcome. So it's so beautiful to start a session, a class, doing a practice, a ritual, an activity that, like practice is this. So you all belong. You are welcome. There's no need to change. You are welcome as you are. From Cameroon, from India, from Costa Rica, from Nicaragua, from Peru, from Canada, from other countries watching or present here. You are all welcome. Thank you. I would like to see if there's one participant who would like to experience how is this for you, like this welcoming slide, welcoming activity at the very beginning of a session.
I feel like, well, tomorrow is our first day of classes, and we are going to be back tomorrow. I work in Escuela Normal, una Escuela Normal Superior. We are for future teachers. And I was thinking, that's what we need. We need to be welcome everywhere where we go. Thank you, Ivan.
Yeah, that's great, Mirna. And then, so you work with teachers or future teachers, right? So that would be great. Can you imagine?
Right.
Can you imagine the impact, Mirna? So if you cultivate this with your students, so they will bring it to the future classrooms. That's so beautiful to
Yeah,
hear.
this is a slide that I need to include tomorrow in the induction
Yeah,
course.
I can share the slides too if you want to.
Yeah, that'd be
chat.
wonderful. Yeah,
I will
there's
be.
a slide that I need to include tomorrow. Thank
You
you.
can take a screenshot. You can take a screenshot now.
I
but I will
already
do
did. I already Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. All right. So let me also open the chat. You can also open, write in the chat if you don't want to open your mic. Yeah. And Giovanni Rosario says, it feels very well to be welcome, no matter who you are and how you feel. Exactly. I love it. So you no need to change. I'm sad. So I need to be happy because I'm in a station with Jaime, right? I want to show my happy face. No, you're welcome as you are, because that's you. That's you, right? If you change, you are forced to change. That's not you. So you're welcome as you are. Thank you so much. I was saying, so I don't know how many of you have read, or maybe watch a video clip, or talk to or attending a session or a conference, or a politician talking about, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the Agenda 2030. So I was reading about them, and it's beautiful. Like they set 17 different goals, and different targets, and all of them talk about the issues we face in our countries. These are some of the issues I face in Nicaragua with my people, and also we're facing here in Costa Rica where I live, and maybe similar issues you're facing in your countries where you are. So the 190 members states in 2015, they decided to make a plan. Look at this. This is before the pandemic. So, and it was a 15-year goal. So they say in 2030, we will be achieving these goals, right? So while I was reading the goals, I said, how do I do this? Do I need to wait my government to do something for me, or NGOs, or universities, or my schools, or Mary Shaw? How do I do this? Because it's so beautiful to read. I'm going to be sharing so for you, if you're interested and want to read more about Sustainable Development Goals, I'm going to be sharing in the chat. In case you want to read more, you want to save this link for future. So my question was, oh, this is so beautiful. And how do I put this into practice? How do I develop these goals in my classroom, me as a teacher? Because the implementation of this require not only governments or NGOs or entities, also me, the civil society, me, the teacher, me, the learner, academic institutions, the private sector, everyone is involved here and invited to do something so we can achieve the goals. But again, so I say, oh my God, so in a text, in a document it says, this is so beautiful, but how can I do this? And then out of the 17, I decided to focus on one goal. It's a goal number 4. It's a quality education, which is the area we work on, right? So we are all educators, and we want to have quality education in our schools, in our classrooms, in our communities, in our countries, in our regions. So the goal reads, ensure by 2030, ensure inclusive and quality education for all. For all. It's a private and public sectors, kindergarten, primary, high school, university, after university, post-university, and promote lifelong learning. How do I translate that? How do I do that in my classroom? That was my question, some of the questions I have. And then so each goal has some indicators. Goal 4 has 7 indicators, and this is the last one. So by 2030, ensure that all learners acquire the knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development. And my question is, what are those skills? Because it's just the indicator, but it doesn't provide the skills. Including, among others, through education for sustainable development and sustainable lifestyles, human rights, gender equality, promotion of a culture of peace and nonviolence, global citizenship, and appreciation of cultural diversity, and of course, culture's contribution to sustainable development. So I have these questions. I started watching videos, started reading about them. I had a chance to do a presentation about them. And I say, you know what, this is so interesting. How do I do this? How do I translate this and put it into practice in my classroom? And then I found this. I'm going to move to the next question, the next slide. I found this, the Inner Development Goals Framework. So 5 years after when the pandemic started, these organizations, people in the organizations were asking the similar questions, say, we're not going to reach the goals by 2030. There's a gap, there is something missing. So what they did some survey. They sent survey to many people around the world, students, teachers, administrators, leaders, politicians, religious leaders, general public, business people. They sent surveys. The idea is they were looking for the skills, the values we need, human beings needs, like regular people like us need to develop to reach the Sustainable Development Goals. And after studies and surveys, so they created this framework. So they created these 5 categories, and then they group skills into categories. And then that was one of my answers. Say, oh, that's it. So if I work on these inner development skills or transformational skills, I'm calling them transformational skills, I can contribute to, the skills we need to reach the goals. We want quality education. What skills do I need to develop in the classroom? This is something I can do in the classroom. Like building a school, maybe not. I don't know if I can build a school. I don't have the skills, construction skills. I don't have the resources. But I can do this in the classroom. So I can develop some of these skills in the classroom, and I can contribute to the development and moving towards the Sustainable Development Goal 4, which is quality education. I'm gonna share also this link in case you want to read more about inner development skills. There's a website, and they organize conferences in different parts of the world. All right, so I'm gonna move on to the next one. So what I did was I selected 5 skills. So out of the 23 skills, I selected at least one skill from each of the categories. And we're gonna do today, in the following 60 minutes, is to practice some of the skills or to have a conversation about these skills. How do we put it into practice? I'll bring in some ideas. And I hope you can also share some other ideas. And I hope you can also bring more ideas or start thinking. It's just, tapping on curiosity, say, I can do this too in classroom. How do I do this? How do I put it into practice in an English class, or a math class, or science class, physical education class? I can do this. All right, so we're ready? I'm gonna go one by one, and we'll do 1 or 2 practices and then move on to the next one. And then at the end, we have a conversation about the 5 different transformational skills to practice in the classroom. So we can move forward towards sustainable development indicator 4.7. So this is the first one. I'm taking this definition from the document from Inner Development Skills. So the definition reads, it's an ability. So I can develop this ability. I can promote and cultivate this in the classroom to be present here and now without judgment and in a state of open-ended presence. That is so interesting because this is very similar to the definition of mindfulness. I hope some of you have read, have practiced, have watched videos about mindfulness, or maybe have brought mindfulness to your classroom. What is mindfulness? So these are 2 great definitions what mindfulness is. From Mina Srinivasan, an educator in the US, and John Kabat-Zinn, a master trainer on mindfulness. And the components here is, and the 2 definitions is, just to pay attention to what is happening right now. Here on my computer is 8:55. What is happening right now? It's here in this moment, not 54, not 56, 55, 8:55. With kindness and curiosity. What is this? And I'm experiencing this. My heart is beating. What is this? And just accepting and welcoming and staying in the present. Not going to stories. Oh, it's beating because I'm not good at this. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. And then telling me myself stories, and then I'm not present. But when not present, I'm distracted by my thoughts or something that is happening around. I kindly invite Ivan to come back and stay here. And I go that direction and say, Ivan, come back. It's okay, come back. And curiosity is, what is this? And mindfulness brings lots of benefits, not only to the physical area or emotional area or aspect of our body, but it's everywhere to build up relationships, to get connected with my students, to get connected with my peer teachers, my principal. Just be present. present during challenges, present during celebrations, anywhere, anytime. So there are many different benefits and many different areas that might be benefit if I cultivate and practice presence, practice mindfulness. I will be more aware of what's going on. Sometimes I'm not aware of what's going on. I have stories of my wife telling me, "You said so," and I was like, "Did I? Are you sure you said it?" And then I was like, I wasn't present when I said that. It wasn't me. I was just thinking about something else, but it wasn't me. So I was, and then I realized, oh, I wasn't present. That's what happened. Yeah, and I improved my relationships, and I have more connection with everyone else, and I find balance, emotional balance. All right, so after talking about this, what if we do some practice? Because you might say, you might find lots of activities on YouTube, lots of clips in any language. You speak English, Spanish, Afrikaans, any language you speak, you find lots of practices on YouTube. So let's do some practice. This is a practice. I have another practice later. This is a practice. We can do it in class. Very easy. We're going to do it for a few seconds here. So we're going to create space. And we're going to create a space to arrive. Like maybe you're coming from bed. Maybe you're coming from work. Maybe you work on Sunday. Maybe you're coming from the supermarket or from the market. Maybe you're coming from a meeting or a breakfast. So, and I need to arrive. So we're going to create a space to arrive. And how do we create this space? If we are in silence. This is just one practice. So I'm going to invite you to be in silence for a few seconds, maybe 30 seconds. So we're going to take first, before starting silence, take a deep breath. You might close your eyes if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, or you might keep your eyes open. And the idea is you notice in these seconds of silence, you notice your feelings, what you are experiencing inside and outside, and your thoughts. And again, if you feel distracted during silence, kindly invite yourself, hey, come back and stay here. Connecting to what you are experiencing at this moment. So the ones that are joining right now, we're going to have some seconds of silence, practicing mindfulness. Silence now. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for creating the space, for arriving. Welcome everyone. I see some new participants join us today. We're talking about, thank you, Gomati. How was that experience for you? Do you think you can practice this in your classroom?
Yes, we are practicing every day. Whenever I'm going
Oh,
to the class, yes, Gomati Palaniswamy, I'm talking from India. Whenever I'm going to the class, first 5 minutes, I make all the students to maintain silence. They sit silent for 5 minutes or more than 5 minutes. Then after settling down only, I will start my class. This is the usual routine I'm following.
Wow.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Right, right. So beautiful, right? It's just like making a pause to start, right? When you start the class, it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, grounding, Andreina Ramos. And yes, yeah, grounding, yeah. I'm here. Yeah, while I was in silence, I look at the window and say, oh, it's a cloudy day. And I say, hey, wait, come back. Because I was about to say, it's a beautiful day. It's cloudy. Oh, beautiful to take a walk. And I say, come back and stay here. Maria Elba, would you like to share experience?
I think that it was very, very interesting. And I think if we try this in our school now, when we are going to start the presential class, I think it will be very interesting because get you calm and you forgot everything that was happened at home or in the street, I don't know, and you feel calm and with a lot of gains to work in the class or talk something about your feelings. I love it. Huh?
Yeah, it's like creating a space to have conversations, right? About oneself,
Yes.
right? How we are doing and welcoming as you are. That's beautiful. I like that connection, like the ritual we had first, a welcoming slide and then in a second silence. And I'm gonna read what Mona Ibrahim wrote in the chat. I always do this with my class before to clarify their minds, and usually I put some calm music, and after we finish the session, to reread what we have done. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, for some people, calm music works. For some others, might not work. So it's good to get to know the students, and we'll be talking about that too, getting to know the students. Yeah. So all you're saying is mindfulness serve us to move, or might serve us to move towards goal for quality education. So they have this opportunity to come and arrive and get ready to start learning the experience, because it's starting the journey of learning every single class. How do I get my students to be ready to start learning today, right? So it's doing some practice as a mindfulness, bringing their attention to the present moment. All right, so I'm gonna move on to the next one. Okay, Mona, you raise your hand.
Yeah, hello everyone. First, thank you for such really interesting session and workshop. I want to share something if it is possible. Usually I put some music and I use the sound of waves or the sound of birds, the nature. That would help them just to calm down. And while they are just taking that a minute and a half, I put always 90 seconds. I write the objective of the day on the board. But meanwhile, they have to maybe down on their desks or close their eyes, and when they open them they will get the objectives. And after we work during the period, after we finish, we make like a reread the objectives. Have we got them? Is there anything that I have to re-explain it? And also that's how I do my session. I don't know if it is good to, if anyone would like to do it, but so far all my students, they're doing really great by using this way and this skill.
One, and it sounds like you do it with a frequency. I don't know if every day, every session you do it. So you cultivate that, you practice that, so students know the purpose why you're doing this. So that's beautiful
Yes.
to share also.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So welcome to the new participants, and we're talking about transformational skills. We're talking about 5 different transformational skills. The first one was mindfulness, and this is the second one, optimism. And again, this is a definition included in the inner development goals, the document I share, and I will be sharing again the link. So for the ones who are arriving, you can also have access to the link in case you want to read again, or you want to keep this for later. And the definition for optimism says it's an ability, again, it's a learnable skill to sustain and communicate a sense of hope. This is challenging for me because how do I communicate a sense of hope? when I have no hope, when I'm in a challenging situation and difficult situation? How do I communicate positive attitude and confidence when everything is challenging? I'm thinking about different countries where we are facing challenging situations. So it's and I say, oh, I was the dilemma I had. How do I do this in the classroom? So how do I cultivate this? How do I bring this into the classroom so we can be aware that we have some pessimistic thinking, but we also have an option, the optimistic thinking. It's kind of an option, right? So here are practices we can include in the classroom, but I'm going to read this quote from Martin Seligman. He states that optimistic explanations, I mean, the reason, the cause of what happens, include the idea that the causes are temporary. It's not permanent thing. It's a specific, so it's not related to the other things that are happening in my life, right? And changeable with effort. So if I can make some effort and I do my best, I can change this situation, right? I can turn this into, I can have a different perspective. Maybe not changing, but I have a different perspective. So it's changeable with effort. So the opposite here is the pessimistic explanation is that everything is permanent, it's general, and I cannot change it. And I have experienced, I don't know you, but I have experienced this in class, the students telling me, I'm not good at languages. I will never learn. I've been to every school. I have hundreds of teachers. I'm not gonna learn. I'm not good. Oh, I'm not good at writing. Oh, I'm not good at pronunciation. Oh, that's not me. It's difficult. It's complicated. No, I'm not good. I'm too old. I'm too young. So like, oh my God, how do I respond? This is also, something beautiful. So I have this, thinking, kind of a system in my students, right? And how do I respond to this? What can I do? What skills can I bring to the classroom so I can contribute to these students? They are aware that what they're doing is just thoughts about who they are and how they respond or react to challenges, because that's it, right? So 2 ideas I have here is increase the students' capacities to reframe. Now, this is not easy in a challenging situation. If I tell you to change the perspective of something that you're saying is pessimistic, it's impossible. If you ask me, oh, change the perspective. You have a challenging situation, you fail the class, and it's okay. Be optimistic. I'm not gonna be optimistic at that moment, right? And you're asking me to be myself, and you welcoming and accepting me, and you don't want me to be pessimistic. So how do I do this? So I can, because it's a skill, so I can practice in class, so I can reframe the pessimistic explanation into optimistic ones. And another one is learn to observe our thoughts, because as I was saying, this is my experience. It's just thinking, it's just thoughts. So one idea here is, like they can learn, right? It's a skill that they can learn. So one idea here is to have students like spend, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or 20 minutes in a class, or spend an hour, depends on how much time in the topics you're working on. And then you ask students to bring scenarios when they are, they have challenges or difficult situations or stressful situations. What is challenging for them? Because what is challenging for one student is not challenging for the other ones. Or what is challenging for students is not challenging for me. So it's getting to know students. It's so important to get into those students and create this community sense. Practicing mindfulness, welcoming students, accepting the students, including the students so they belong. So, and then when they bring these scenarios, you can have a discussion, you can have conversations in small groups, in pairs, or as a large group. And you bring some questions. So what are some of these are 2 sample questions, right? What are some of your common responses to a challenge? You bring a challenge, right? The one I was saying, a student failed a class and it's a final exam and it failed. How do you respond to that? What stories are you telling yourself? What words are you using against yourself? How is your body reaction? What is something you're experiencing inside? What is something you're telling the environment or the others? It's just being aware, like, right? And then, so let's practice and try to be a little bit more optimistic. What is one thing, at least one thing, you could tell yourself, you could tell others if you were more optimistic? And this is just an idea. Practice, and my recommendation would be to practice with lightweight scenarios and moving from lightweight to maybe middleweight, lightweight to middleweight, and go back and forth, and then practice in class. In this way, you are raising awareness on students, say, because in the middle of a challenge, I don't know what is pessimistic and optimistic, and maybe I don't care. I just want to overcome this situation, and I don't know how. But the more I practice, I might come back and I say, oh, I remember in class. I remember in class we practiced this and we're raising awareness on this. Yeah, I'm gonna read what Mona is writing in the chat, and I'm inviting you to also write or read in the chat, or read and write in the chat. I always let anything to pass peaceful by saying everything will be just fine. As I like, everything is in God's hands, and I am sure that He will take care of everything. And in my opinion, every problem will end either as a lesson or as an achievement. Yeah, nothing is permanent, right? So that's good. That's good to have conversation with students. Oh, I'm sorry, too fast. Wait, hold on. Let me go back here. All right, so the second practice I'm gonna invite you to for a few seconds to do it. I said I had two practice for optimism. So this is about thoughts. And I have these 4 questions. Have you ever experienced any of this? Maybe in the chat you can write 1, 2, 3, or 4. Or you can open your mic and say, yes, number 1, number 2. I see Andreina, 4.
Yeah, 3.
3, yes. One metaphor I use for thoughts is the sky. I know Mary Scholl uses the metaphor of a train station. And the question I have is, I don't have train station in my country, Nicaragua, but I have a sky. And everyone here has sky and has the weather that sometimes the sky has clouds. So this is a picture. My mind is the sky and my thoughts are the clouds. And they come and go.
What about
Some
if
of them
it rains?
Sorry?
What about if it rains?
Ah, that's good. The clouds are there still.
Yeah.
The clouds are ready with rain. Yeah, that's what I was about to say, Jaime. Some of them are white. Some of them are dark. Some of them are heavy. Some of them are. Some of them want to stay there, and some of them, yeah, cause rain, right?
And the rain could clean them and wash
Oh,
them.
I love that. I love that. Right?
Yeah,
I love that idea.
I was thinking about your metaphor.
I love that idea that I might include it in another session, Jaime. Yeah.
Please do.
So maybe I need a rain to clean them.
And then the sun will shine.
Oh.
And the birds will fly and sing.
And they will disperse, right?
Yes.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. So you know, like, I cannot stop thinking, right? Because I'm a human being and I'm a creative person and I need thinking, right, to create things. If you're an artist, you also need thinking, right? But sometimes I am controlled by thinkings, my thoughts. And I am not my thoughts. I am me, Ivan. I'm not my thoughts. So thoughts are, you know, it's just energy. And they come and go as clouds, right? And Eckhart Tolle, a spiritual leader, says that most of their thoughts are coming from the collective. So they're not my thoughts. So imagine if I have a pessimistic thoughts and you have another pessimistic thought. So your thought and my thoughts put together, and I have not only one, I have more thoughts of pessimism. So let's practice for a few seconds. Let's say 15, 20 seconds. Let's say 20 seconds. I'm gonna invite you to count your thoughts. And I'm gonna stop sharing so I can see you there. Just for 20 seconds. Count your thoughts. So take a deep breath. Go back to normal breathing. If you're fine closing your eyes, you can close your eyes. If not, just stay your eyes open. And the idea here is be aware and accept your thoughts. And count 1, 2, 3. It's not about the numbers, not a competition. It's not about who has more thoughts or less thoughts. It's just being aware that I have thoughts, and my thoughts are not me. All right. All right. So let's start for 20 seconds counting thoughts and see how many we can count. All right. Thank you so much for counting your thoughts. Oh, just for a few seconds, right? You might do this with your students for, I don't know, a minute or 2 minutes. Let me share the screens because I have a couple of questions for you. So how was that for you?
I don't know if it happened to the other ones here, but when I pay attention to my thoughts, I have fewer thoughts that when I'm not paying attention to them. I don't know if that happens to everyone here, but while I was listening to you, I had lots of thoughts. But then you say, okay, you had 20 seconds. Then I started thinking and then I didn't know what to think about. So I guess that thoughts are like clouds, as you said, they just go and move according to the wind or the storms or the weather. So they just come out. But when you pay attention to them, they just disperse, disappear.
Yeah, it's just like you are in control, right?
Yes.
You are in control. Your thoughts are not controlling you. I love that awareness, right? You say, oh, I see that.
Mona says wants to say something. Mona?
Yeah, Mona, go ahead.
Hello, everyone again.
Hello.
First, you have asked us to choose one of these four. I didn't choose any because usually thoughts and ideas always come to mind when I am on the spot. I never think about the past because that's called overthinking. And I shouldn't because this would be really stressful. And usually also I would not look for future, what's going to happen. And because usually I have to live the moment. That's for this reason, I always look for a way where I always read because reading it's like it's helpful. It will bring you all kinds of maybe solutions for any problem that would face you. But I never bring thoughts to my mind. If it is negative, I directly avoid. I have to be positive, and as I said before, I have to keep everything will be just fine. No need to think about the past. The past just passed, and no need to think about the future because future is going to be present later on. So let it be. For this reason, I didn't get any thoughts. I just enjoying the silence. That's the point, and looking forward just what I'm going to have from the session. That's it. Thank you.
I see Mona is very skillful in practicing mindfulness and silence and thinking about their thoughts. Well, thinking about there's nothing to think is also a thought. I sometimes find myself trapped in traffic of thoughts about past or future. And then you're right, Mona, it's stressful. It's frustrating sometimes thinking about the future and I don't have no control. Yeah, but it's beautiful just to be aware, like, oh, that's just thoughts, and they're just thoughts and it's energy. So cloud, move away, go away. Yeah, thank you. So Andreina says, I like this activity to do with my students it grounds my thoughts. It made my mind choose one's thoughts. A lot about options and choose. Yeah, as I said, optimistic is a choice, but I need to cultivate it and be aware of the skill and practice it in class. So the next skill is communication skill. We were talking about 5 different transformational skills taken from the inner development goals and aiming to move towards the sustainable development goal for quality of education. And communication skills is the ability, again, is a learnable skill to really listen to others. What is that, to really listen? It's not only listen, to really listen to others, to foster genuine dialogue, and to manage conflicts constructively. That's so interesting definition, right? So I'm getting some ideas from nonviolent communication, also called compassionate communication, developed by Marshall Rosenberg, and which is a practical learnable process based on the universal human needs. And when we talk about universal human needs, these are needs I have, these are things I value, and everyone else. This is for everyone. This is not a physical need that I need some coffee. That's the need, is the human need behind coffee is food. So these are things that we need at different levels, at different time. It doesn't matter who you are or who we are. It could be the president of Peru, the president of Nicaragua, the president of Costa Rica, the president of Canada, the president of the United States. Everyone has the same needs. And we want to have these needs, things we value, satisfied. So with nonviolent communication, the intention is to develop a quality of connection. Human essence to human essence. And this is connection with myself and connection with you, connecting to everyone. And this allowing us to first understand and value each other's needs. I understand what you're doing is because you're trying to meet your needs. It's not because you're a bad student. No, because you're trying to satisfy a need that is important to you. And together explore how do we meet both needs, your needs and my needs. So the question I have here is talking about conflict resolution. How do I know that I'm ready to communicate what I want to communicate? How do I know that I'm ready to listen to you or listen to myself? How do I know I'm ready to be in a dialogue? Do I want to be in a dialogue? Am I ready to be in a dialogue? Do I have enough space? Do I have enough level of energy for emotional labor? How do I know I'm ready to contribute to solving conflict? That's a big question. How do I know that?
You're asking us, Ivan?
Yeah, I'm asking you, yes. Would you like to answer that question, Jaime?
Well, I'll try, because you made me think and reflect. I guess that we will be able to listen to other people, to contribute, when we first learn to listen to ourselves, when we first learn how to resolve our own conflicts, which is something really difficult. I don't know if this happens to you, but sometimes it's easier for me to listen to other people, to help other people, to contribute to other people, but it's difficult to help myself. I don't know if that happens to you, where we are humans, so we are not perfect, but we are always struggling and trying to learn something new. Like, for example, today, you are making us reflect. You are getting us reflect about something that we usually don't pay attention to. So I would say, to put in a few words, is that first we have to learn to communicate with ourselves and listen to ourselves.
I mean, how is that for you, being aware that you do your best to contribute to others, and then not with the same intensity you do it for yourself?
I got really no idea, but I guess it's because we always want to, I guess it depends on your empathy. I guess it depends on your personality. of what you want to do, that we sometimes forget ourselves. We neglect to help ourselves because it's easier to help others. I don't know if I'm right.
Well, yeah, I hear you. When I hear your story of sharing, it reminds me my grandfather, and I think I got it from him. Like help everyone. He never asked me to help myself, support myself, right? Support others, and never asked me to support myself. So what you're saying is you're not aware that you are supporting others, and you
Right.
also need to support yourself.
Yeah.
And start with yourself before supporting others. So that's a beautiful awareness, and thank you for sharing, Jaime.
No, thank you for
So
listening.
yeah. So we have this metaphor, the jar. So we all have an invisible jar. We all have it. And in this invisible jar, what we put inside is the things we value, things we need. It's kind of a treasure, and we have a lid to cover it. So what's in my jar? I need to know what I need to have in my jar. I need to know if I have what I need, what I value into my jar. So I need to know what is important to me. Like in my case, for example, in 2018, when I came to Costa Rica, safety and connection were two of my biggest needs. Now I have different needs. I'm not saying that I don't value connection and safety. I'm saying the intensity of safety and connection because I have them. I already have them. But in 2018, I didn't have them. I needed to meet them. I needed to satisfy those needs. Right. So what do I need to have? What do I have in my jar? So that's the question I always ask myself, especially in challenging time, on when I'm reacting. I had a conversation, difficult, challenging conversation with my daughter Alejandra last night, and I reacted. And I say, "Oh my God, what is something I don't have here, and I need it? What is that? That was one thing that I don't have, and one thing that I didn't have at that moment was connection. And I did my best to connect, and did my best to connect until we connected at the end of the night. But it was beautiful. It's something I didn't have in my jar. And I said, what is that? Why am I reacting or responding this way? So the question I have, and I'm inviting you to participate, is this is just a list, a sample list or small list or short list of universal human needs from the perspective of nonviolent communication. These are words that describe life-serving energy that motivates and sustains us. So when I have this, my jar is full, So I'm inviting you to write in the chat or open your mic and choose the words. What are 2 or 3 of these universal human needs that you have a lot in your life right now? And I would like to read or listen to your needs that you have in now.
Cooperation.
Cooperation, yes. Yeah. What else? You can write in the chat.
Something that we're missing? Is that the question?
Yeah, it could be something that is in the list, Irma, or it could be something that is not on the list that you have a lot of. Because that's what I'm saying. This is a short list because of the size of the slide. What is 1 or 2 things that you have a lot now in your life at this moment, at this time? You have this.
What I do have right now, it's a lot of learning from different perspectives and ways and sources. But I'm also aware that one of the things that we're lacking, and it's sadness because it comes with not having safety in my country. And I think it's affecting all over, general people, because now yeah, safety is a big issue.
Where,
And that
where are you,
goes
Irma?
with sadness.
What country are you?
Living, I'm in Ecuador. I'm from Guayaquil, and sadly, it has been ranked as one of the most beautiful cities, also one of the best destinations for visit, but at the same time, one of the crime rates increasing.
Oh, yeah,
So,
I get it, right? It creates, yeah, connects with sadness. Right? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi,
Yeah.
Ivan.
Hello.
Hello. Well, for me, the thing that I have in my life right now is about for peace. Is the most important. Peace in my body, peace in my mind, and also be healthy. That is one more. Be healthy. And the other is about for inspiration. Whatever I do, inspiration in my job, in my family, as a human, as a person, as a teacher. Yes, all right.
Oh, beautiful. Jimmy,
Thank you.
what country are you in, or you're from?
I'm from Peru, Lima, Peru, Callao, Peru.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing, Jimmy. I see
Great.
Peru now, Jimmy Roja, Peru. Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Yes.
You know, one idea I have, and sometimes I go back to this list. I have a longer list. I might share it with you. Is sometimes I'm overwhelmed by things I don't have or I need, and I want to find balance and see what is something I have right now, so I can have a balance in things I don't have and things I have, right? So it's just a beautiful practice too with students. You know, what is something you have, like one thing you have, and maybe you want to explore or talk more about how is this for you, having this, having peace or health, for example. That is beautiful. And Irma will talk about things. Oh, I'm sorry, things we don't have. So I'd like to hear the same list, but a different question. Is what is one or two or three things you don't have, or you want to have, you would like to have more of in your life right now? So in my case,
more beauty.
Oh, beautiful. You are beautiful. I love it.
No, I don't pay attention to beauty. Not now. When I was younger, when I 25 years ago, maybe. But now I would say safety.
Oh, safety.
And
I see that, safety.
And health.
Same here.
And health, definitely. Definitely, because I always tell my friends, colleagues, and students, as long as you are healthy, you can do anything. You can try to do anything. It's up to your attitude. But if you're sick, you can't move, you can't do anything. So I would say health.
Yeah, I see in the chat. Yeah, I see in the chat. Peace is like one of the most frequent, or the areas that we need in our life in different countries. Yeah,
yes.
Safety also. Yeah, self-confidence and safety. My part of the country is at war. Oh my God, Ningin. He said he was from Cameroon, right? Ningin?
Yeah.
Oh, so my part of the country is at war.
Just a reminder, Ivan, we got 25 more minutes and some extra ones.
Yeah, thank you so much for the reminder. That's a great Jaime to remind me that. So now these are feelings. These are words that describe my emotional state, my behavior, my physical sensations. So which of these have you experienced in the last 24 hours, or in the last maybe 5 hours of your morning? So you can maybe share the number and the name of the feeling. Which one have you experienced?
Number 2, happy.
Happy, number 2. Yeah, I agree. Happy.
Yesterday we attended the graduation of one of my grandsons at the Florida University. So yesterday we were very happy and proud because our sons have their first big step to continue his life.
Beautiful.
And today, because we are going to receive the visit of other grandchildren that have all the afternoon for us.
Beautiful. I love to use that example, Maria Elba. So why were you happy or you've been happy? What is the reason? So feelings come to my life and they manifest in my body.
Yes.
Because there is a need.
Feelings that came to my body that change my feelings that I have every day, because I have I am a little sad every day of my life. But I want to say you that something changed in my life, my feelings, and make me feel comfortable very well.
Yeah, some of them are pleasant, some of them are unpleasant. And this is the relationship between feelings and universal human needs. So I'm going to use the example of Maria Elba. She's been happy because why she's experiencing this happiness? Because of celebration, celebrating graduation. That's the connection. When a need, a universal human need is met, pleasant feelings come. The opposite, when like safety, a universal human need is not met, unpleasant feelings come. And that's the connection. That's the relationship between feelings and needs. And yeah, that's a relationship. So now, my feelings, what I'm experiencing, happy, sad, angry, furious, frustrated, tired. They are connected to my needs with the things I value, the things I need, not to what other people are doing or saying.
Yes,
right.
You're right.
So when I'm feeling, yeah, go ahead, Jaime.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember these cars. You have seen them?
Yeah.
Are those the conversations cards that we can find for English classes?
No, I got this in the course that I took with Mary Shaw in Costa Rica. If you feel joyful, if you feel confused, if you feel furious, if you feel glad, whatever, it's because there is a reason. It's because you need honoring, or because you need kindness, or because you need independence. That's precisely what you are saying, Ivan, that if our needs are not met, then we have certain feelings and emotions that control our thoughts.
Yeah. Right. And now imagine, so if I wanna be ready to listen, I wanna be in a dialogue, and I contribute to conflict resolution. So having this understanding and this awareness that the relationship between feelings and needs, my support, my dialogue, my listening, and my contribution to conflict resolution. So imagine if we practice, and I love the idea of Jaime of creating cards. If we don't have access to cards, we can create the cards and just write the words and then play with the students. Well, how are you feeling now?
I can send them. I got the document. So if you write to me, I can send them and then you can print them. Anybody.
That is so beautiful. Thank you. Mona, we're gonna have some minutes at the end so you can share, because I saw your hands was up, but I wanted to move on because I have 2 more skills. And I want to do practice in this perspective skills. So it's seeking understanding and actually making use of insights from contrasting perspectives. So the idea is that we all have perspectives. I have my perspective, you have your perspective. Might be a different perspective than mine. And it's okay, you have a different perspective, because my perspective, it's based on my experiences, maybe my family, my ancestor, my community, my country, my region, my teachers, my English teachers. That's why I have this perspective, right? And I honor my perspective by honoring your perspective. So let's do some practice here. Let's do some practice. So what do you see? What do you think the students are experiencing? Why are they doing what they are doing? What do you see here in general? What do you see? 3 pictures of different students, different ages, different settings.
Their reaction to the class, to the student, to the teacher's class. Some of them, well, all of them are not connected with what is going on in class.
No, you see, they're not connected to class, right? They're not interested in what's going on in the class, right? Because they're distracted.
Yeah.
They're not paying attention to the teacher or the lesson. They're distracted, they're bored, they're tired. That's interesting. That's your perspective. That's your perspective, right? And me as a teacher, when I see this in class, oh, they don't care about my class. They're bored, not good student. Let's see TikTok. Yeah, they're watching TikTok. They don't care about my class. They're more curious about TikTok. They have a lot of going on. Oh, I love that, Andreina. Not interested. But that's a perspective, right? So the lenses we use impact the way we see the world, right? So sometimes I use this perspective, the positive and negative, right? This is a negative future for the students. They're right or wrong, right? I'm right, right? I have the truth, right? These are not good students. They're not good students. This is a perspective we use, right, good, positive, negative, wrong, bad, safe, unsafe. These are just perspective because I'm wearing these glasses, right? How about if we have a different perspective? Let's do some practice. Let's move to the practice. So look at the picture. What do you think the students are experiencing and why are they doing what they're doing? So imagine the opposite. So we say they are not interested, they are distracted in the chat. I'm not reading the chat and I'm inviting you to imagine the opposite. They feel no connection, not interested. I'm reading the chat. They're not paying attention to the teacher, distracted, bored, tired. They're not paying attention. What would be the opposite?
That they would be doing research in Google, looking for checking the info that the teacher is explaining, or getting to know something that the teacher hasn't said.
Right. Or they're celebrating that. I'm imagining the opposite. They're celebrating that someone brought a good app for practicing the skill they're practicing in class, whether reading, writing, or listening or pronunciation. So they're celebrating they got it and they can go beyond the classroom, right? Say, oh my God, this is so good. Thank you for bringing this. How about guess feelings and needs? Can we guess what feelings and needs? Remember the relationship between feelings and needs. Can we guess? You can write in the chat or you can open your mic. Oh, they're playing a game using technology. I love that, Gabriela Campos. Yeah, gamification in the classroom. Oh, they're doing some group discussions as an online platform at Ningyin. Enjoying learning, Komani. I love that. So what can we guess what feelings and needs they are experiencing right now? Oh, ask them. Some pleasant feelings, right? I can see the smile on your face and their faces, right? And why do you think they have some pleasant feelings, Gabriela? Oh, ICT integration lessons, right, Damarius? Damarius wrote in the chat, maybe they're just using technology in the classroom, that they're excited about using technology in the classroom. So pleasant, like excitement, happiness. Oh, something that is interesting. So it's interesting for them, right? So they're curious, they have curiosity. How about the next one, the last one? Guess from a different person's point of view. Because remember what we said that feel no connection, they're not interested, they're distracted, they're bored, they're tired. What about if we guess from a different person's perspective? I can bring one example. I can say, for example, the two students in the front. I am the oldest brother of the 2 students. They are siblings, and they don't have access to internet at home, or it's very limited internet at home, or they don't have a device to play. But the school provides internet and a device to use technology. So they are so excited about the opportunity of having access to Wi-Fi and a device borrowed from the school. So I'm so happy they have this opportunity. They have this opportunity to, have access to technology and practice. So that's a different person's point of view. So just because of time, and I'll move on because I have one more skill. So now, based on our work with perspectives, what are new ways to answer these questions? Maybe we have 2 more pictures. Maybe I use 1 or 2 participants. You can write in the chat. You can use picture 1 or 2 and say, imagine the opposite, or guess the feelings and needs. Gabriela, the answer to my question and why they were pleasant feelings is because they had joy. They're enjoying what they're doing. Thank you, Gabriela Campos. Anyone would like to try? One of the 3 ideas for changing the perspective or playing with the perspectives. So you are the teacher and those are your students. What would you like to do?
Change the activity that we are doing in class.
Oh, you might check on the activity and then make some changes on the activity, Maria Elba.
Yes,
That's what you're saying?
change the activity that you are doing during the class because nobody is paying attention. So maybe you can do like that. We are going to change. Please now get up, say something, and change something that made them more wake up, and don't be sleepy or boring.
Yeah, that's also another idea that is not included in the slide, Maria Elba. Just be aware of what you are doing and change the perspective of the lesson. Yeah, so maybe students are tired, right? And you're guessing that they're tired because it's been a long day. Roxana?
Yes, hello. Just wanted to talk about the kid on picture 2. Probably there's a technique the teacher uses in classroom. It says, when you finish the exercise, you can put your head down and relax for a little while. Not necessarily is bored, but he's giving a sign that he has finished the activity and he's relaxing because he's done it very fast.
I love that's number 3.
Yes, I was thinking of the activity you did as well, mindfulness, to close our eyes. If somebody has taken a screenshot of that, who has said that we are sleepy, that we are bored, that we are not paying attention because we were with our eyes closed or something like that. But we were doing, it was part of an activity given by the teacher. I think it's a technique.
That's a beautiful stimulus. So it's just by looking at the picture, right? I have an idea. I have a perspective. Yeah. I love that. That's number 3, Roxana. That's a great example, number 3. So I'm thinking this, just guessing my different points of view, right? Just the end of the activity and the students are just relaxing because it was the first one who finished. All right, so let's move on to the last skill included in the list. It's not the last skill, it's just skill number 5 included in the list. Is the ability to relate to others. So we've been working on the previous 4 skills. That's why this is the last one to see the connection. Oneself and nature with empathy, kindness, and compassion, and the intention to others related suffering. So what comes to mind when you read these words? Pity, sympathy, empathy, and compassion. What does it involve to experience
putting in somebody else's shoes?
Putting someone in someone else's shoes.
I think.
Trying to experience, right? That. So it implies effort, right? Because you need to make efforts, right?
Awareness that somebody
awareness
next to you is going through something, and then we are there either to listen or to say something, or not listen or not say something, but to hug that person, or just if I'm in class, just to stop the activity and make the question like, okay, what do you think about this? What's going on? How can we help?
Right. Thank you for sharing, Irma.
Katia Palomino, Ivan, Katia Palomino in Facebook Live says pro-social skills.
Ah,
okay.
Pro-social skills, yes. Skills we need to cultivate in the classroom.
Right.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Katia Palomino. Thank you, Jaime, for sharing what's going on in Facebook Live. So with this visual, we want to show what moving from pity to compassion involves. And then you were right, it involves effort, right? The more I move to compassion, the more effort I need, the more connection also is needed. So for understanding and engagement. So the more, so if I practice, I'm not saying with this vision that pity is not good or compassion is the best way of approaching things or life situations. It just requires different things, right? So pity requires less effort, less understanding, and less engagement. And compassion requires the most effort, the most understanding and engagement as empathy and sympathy. So this is a description of what it is. So pity is just distance, right, between your experience and what I'm experiencing. Sympathy is just I'm aware of what you are experiencing. And empathy requires more effort because I want to understand. And to understand, I need to connect. As you were saying, putting myself in your shoes. That requires more effort. And for me to put it into your shoes, not my own shoes, your shoes, experience what you are experiencing, trying to understand how you are experiencing. I need connection. I need understanding. Back and forth, maybe just observing and sharing what I'm observing, and it's checking if what I'm observing is what the other person is experiencing. So you see that, and then move to compassion. So this is the last slide. So these are some ideas for moving from pity to compassion, and pity is at the bottom. So I feel sorry for you in your situation, and that's what is just keeping some distance. And sympathy is I'm aware of your suffering and say, oh wow, that is hard, right? What you're saying in Cameroon, what is happening in Cameroon. Yeah, that's difficult. And empathy is I'm striving to understand your experience, and then I can connect with your experience, right? So remember, Jaime was sharing about his experience about thoughts, and I was trying to connect with Jaime about how he was experiencing that. Like when he was becoming aware of thoughts, there were less thoughts for him.
Yeah.
And then, and compassion is because I'm connected, I understand what you're experiencing, I move to compassion. I can do something for you because I understand how you are experiencing and what you are living. I can do something because I understand. And I check with you and I understand what you're experiencing. But if I move to compassion from the very beginning, I don't know what you are experiencing. If I do something for you, I'm doing for myself, not for you. So I need to really understand what's going on, because I know you have a perspective and I have a perspective too. And as Roxana, I think was saying, the picture, I look at the picture, say, oh, this is a tired student. I need to connect to understand what's going on. And when I understand the kid is just a signal that the task is over and it's just taking a break or a pause, making a pause, I say, oh, I can do something for student. I can let the student go. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna summarize if you wanna take a screenshot of this. And then we have a few minutes for questions or comments. These are 5 transformational skills we can practice in the classroom to move to Sustainable Development Indicator 47. I will be sharing the links for Sustainable Development Goals and Inner Development Skills you can practice in class. And I took only 5 out of the 5 categories, each for each category, 5, and did some practice. I'm gonna try also to share the slides before we finish the section. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen, And if you have comment, questions.
Okay. Thank you so much, dear Ivan, for this wonderful presentation. We are going to listen to some people commenting briefly, concisely. Please, anybody who wants to express his or her opinion, please, Roxana, and then Irma, and then Mona.
Thank
Roxana,
you.
Roxy in Lima.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I want first to appreciate and make thanks to Ivan for making us be aware of the situation. But I would like to go a little bit deeper on this and inner. What I said is it's quite fantastic to put it into our classes or into our daily life. But more than that, we have to acquire all of these techniques as a lifestyle. We have to start with us. We have to start making it like a routine or part of the things. For example, I remember participating in some of Mary Scholl sessions, and she make us like having a cup of coffee, drinking the coffee, and appreciate not only drinking, but the warmth, the smell. So if we appreciate every single detail of things we are doing, we are living the now. That's easier in that way. If we appreciate what we look at, we're walking down the street, we're in a park, and you appreciate the greens, you appreciate the color of the children playing in the garden. So we learn to live the present, and it's easier. And then it comes automatically in whatever we do, whether we are teaching or we are socializing with friends or family, it will come part of that. Just wanted to say that.
No, please, we all agree with your great ideas, dear Roxana in Lima. Irma? And
yes,
then Mona?
I think my part will complement that, because as long as we incorporate in our lifestyle the mindfulness of ourselves, then we can also transmit to students. And I just want to say that it was so important, the last slide about all the steps that we should take in order to go from pity to compassion, especially to teach our students nowadays that everything is negative around it in Ecuador, and not only, the safety, but worldwide, the COVID situation and everything. So thank you, Ivan. Thank you for such an important presentation. I really enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Irma. Mona?
First, allow me please to thank the speaker for such interesting and informative session indeed. Second, I want to say something. They were speaking about a mixture of emotions, and that what teacher would pass it through and students. For this reason, whenever I'm in a class and I would see my student is passing, definitely they are students. They care for their colleagues, friends next to them. They have to make sure that the teacher would cooperate with them in this case. And I'm, as a teacher, I have a mixture also of feelings that I want to give them what I want to give, and at the same time I have to make sure that they are with me. So definitely, according to all what was mentioned, it is great, it is really interesting, and it's okay if my students, they will pass through some mixture of feelings. It's okay if they would get bored, that's normal. Their students, at that moment, they have to look for a key, because each student needs a key, as in my opinion. They are kind of locks, and there is a specific key each student. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear Mona. Sabino Morla? Sabino, go ahead.
Yes, I'm here. I was just, I was about to say something when you said that that you only had 25 minutes. And I was really interested in not letting this go away. And it is that this kind of practice, which is so valuable, is meant to improve our mental health. I mean, with so many things going on at the same time, we have so many open flanks. Sometimes we might, I would say, our minds could slip a little bit. And this really helps us maintain every energy, or every piece of, or I would say every I would say everything that we have together as resources and all the elements of energy harnessed. I'm really thankful for being here. I think that we should listen to more of this, and looking forward to reading that PDF or PowerPoint if you have it here. I really need it. And thanks for being there.
No,
Yeah,
thank you.
the PowerPoint is already in the chat. You
Thank
can
you.
find it and download it. That would be fantastic.
Thank you so much, dear Ivan. Anybody else? Somebody else before we give some time to Ivan to say goodbye? Yeah, Ophelia, go on.
Okay, thank you. Well, I want to thank Ivan. It was a pleasure to listen to you. I think personally it was necessary, this kind of listening this topic, because we sometimes have difficult moments. And yes, it was a situation that made me remember all the good reasons we have to love the fact that we are alive. Thank you, Ivan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear Ophelia. And I want to also join everyone's opinions, dear Ivan. Anything that has to do with emotions, feelings, well-being, compassion is necessary every day. As Roxy said, we need to practice it every day and have it as part of our daily lives. I want to thank you. And before you give your final words today, only today, let me remind everyone that on Sunday, the 28th, we will have Beatriz Erazo, Marielba Zambrana, Jose Mendivil, and Katia Teran from Bolivia. They will be explaining to us what the situation of teaching, learning English in Bolivia is. So thank you one more time, Ivan, and you have some time to say goodbye to all of you, to all of us.
Thank you so much. You're so kind. I guess the purpose of the session today. Let me share that one more slide. And I think it's we have achieved the purpose of the session today. So the idea of today was to raise awareness. What is something we can do in the classroom with students as the school year has started in many countries, or is about to end in some other countries? What is something we can cultivate in class? And as you were saying, I love what you're saying, is the perspective of, I need to cultivate this in my life so I can practice in class. And as I said at the very beginning, I'm just work in progress. And it's about practicing. It's about raising awareness. It's about getting to know more about these skills to practice in class. So when I have a class that is challenging, it's not the class that is challenging. What are the skills we need to develop in this class? What are the needs my students have? What are the needs I have and I haven't met? What is something I can do in my life and with my students, or for my students, with my peer teachers? So thank you so much for the opportunity. And these questions are for you to answer when you have time, when you come back to your classroom. What's in your heart and mind about the transformational skills included in the lesson? And there are more. These are only 5.
You have to be back, Ivan, so we can give you the answers. And you can do another wonderful presentation like today's. Before we say goodbye, let me introduce once again our president, Raj Jill. She wants to say something.
I appreciate the opportunity, Jaime. I have worked with Ivan and collaborated with Ivan. I am just so much admiring how you have modeled the skills as well as given us the information. And it's important that they be consistent, that what I'm teaching is how I'm showing up as well. So I celebrate your progress and your ability to demonstrate the skills as well as show us how to practice them. I'm so grateful, Ivan. Thank you.
Thank you, Raj.
Well, and I also want to thank all the participants in Facebook Live, like Debra Suarez, Araceli Salas, Enrique Liñán, Monique Vinuesa, GL y Esmeralda Mendoza, Katia Palomino, Jopla Rojas, Rosemary de la Cruz, Olenka Villavicencio, Elizabeth Uscamaita, and all the 35 people who have shared your presentation, Ivan. We usually don't have that audience, so it means that the topic and the presenter were really and are really interesting. So that's why you need to go back for a second presentation, dear Ivan.
That would be fantastic. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, every one of you. Thank you. Thank you, Cameroon, India,
Thank you,
Costa
thank you.
Rica, Nicaragua,
Peru, Ecuador,
Canada, Peru,
Bolivia,
Ecuador,
Mexico,
Bolivia.
Costa Rica, and I don't know, Mauricio Palopino. Where are you from, Mauricio?
Leon.
Hello, everybody. I'm
Hola,
from
buenas.
Colombia, but I'm living here in Panama. I'm living and working in Panama City.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Teacher Ivan. Great presentation, and I learned a lot today.
Yes.
Please be safe.
Thank you.
Okay, it's time for me. It's time for me to go and do the washing up and then the cooking and finally the cleaning. I don't know about you. If you have
here. I'm here. Are we excited that you're cooking?
Thank you.
Thank you. So see you in 2 Sundays.
All right, bye.
See you. Say
Bye.
bye.